No tornado at this point, but definitely a distinct wall cloud here, what we're looking at. And that strong rotation where we start to become a little bit concerned is when we see those brightest of the yellows and the brightest of the reds come directly together side by side. And did produce at least one tornado doing some damage down there. Oh, lots of good smells down here, Rachel. It is fabulous. We're down here on Food Row. If that doesn't tell you that you need to stay in, I don't know what does. Emergency travel only tonight. South of Saratoga, north of Maple Leaf, stay in your safe places, please. This would be the general area we're going to be watching for that tornado. There is some distinct strong rotation. Folks in the northwestern part of Rochester. Ken Quatrin on the phone with us. Ken, tell me where you're at and what you're seeing. This is still some of that debris that's kind of lofted through the air, so you may actually see something falling from the sky here. It's still raining, but this field, as we pan over here to my left, still soaked as you look in between first and second base, water in between the base paths. I'm not going to be bashful.
He's going to be that guy. He's going to slide in here and steal some of our food. So good.
And this is what we call a debris ball, so radar can actually confirm that there is a tornado here. There was some intense rotation. We showed it to you on our own Broadway Plaza tower cam and on First Avenue. Everyone having a good time. Entertainment set to take the stage at the top of the hour.
Now, once again with meteorologist Chris Kuball, an active day, and it's not going to end anytime soon.
Yeah, one storm really giving us a lot of fits. That was in northern Freeborn County. Video again from William showing a funnel just northwest of Corning. A couple of funnels reported, one north of Albert Lee, of course a brief touchdown near Hollandale, and then this funnel near the Corning area as well. I want to touch on that tornado very brief, but only on the ground for about 20 seconds, just to the south of Maple Island as it passed through some rural farmland. So really no huge damage done. There's that cell as it pushed through, and then all of a sudden that line behind it raced up, caught it, and really largely subsevere. Did not see any additional reports from there on out. While we will still continue to have some rain, it's billowing in off some activity to the west. It's not going to be the heaviest variety any longer. Our flash flood watch has been canceled, and we're looking at, while there's some rain in the forecast, the heavy rain prospects staying away. Estimated rainfall over the last 12 hours is hinting at a few of those locations getting into that 1.5 to 2.5 inch range, but it did not come swiftly enough to create major issues. Likely still some ponding out there in some of the farm fields, but again, major issues avoided so far. And it looks like the worst of the impacts going to stay to the south, where there are some flash flood warnings in place down towards Siouxland. And off this thunderstorm activity, a plume of moisture coming our way. What's causing this is a stationary boundary that's through the area. That was the cause of concern for those training thunderstorms earlier in the day. Looks to be more of an emphasis, the focus to trigger these thunderstorms back to the west. And they're riding right along that front. Big issues likely down there towards Sioux City overnight. So some rain streaming our way, but we're not going to get the most robust thunderstorms from here on out. Therefore, the strongest downpours not going to be materializing close to home. Rain will continue through about daybreak. On the other side of that frontal boundary, you see that's where the warm and more muggy air mass is. Still some dew points pegging up in the middle 70s in parts of northeastern Iowa. Kind of split the day on the temperatures thanks to that front. Cooler to the north and touching 90 degrees once again in parts of north central Iowa. Showers and thunderstorms sticking with us through about daybreak, and then we're going to be looking at partly to mostly cloudy conditions throughout the rest of the day. Dry, but only in practice only from Mother Nature. You're still going to be sweating as the muggy meter is up into that muggy and miserable range the next 3 days, providing thunderstorm fuel. We're just going to avoid it tomorrow as that front does slip southward. It's going to take the thunderstorm chance out of here, so some probability of pulsing overnight, yes, that's going to continue, but a dry Tuesday is in order and paused at noon. Not much happening here. Partly to mostly cloudy through the day, clearing up into the later stages. And again, you see some of that activity firing to the south. That's where it should stay. As far as amounts of rainfall from here on out, as it sits for tonight, we're going to keep things rather small, and I would say less than 1/4 inch in most locations. And again, kind of spotty in nature. Who sees the highest marks and who sees the lowest? 68 degrees for tonight, and tomorrow we'll kick the thermostat up into the middle 80s, a touch warmer over north central Iowa, closer proximity to that front. On the 7-day forecast, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday each have rain chances in here. It's mostly centered into the afternoon and midday time frame. It may even extend into the evening before everything wraps up there. Each day is not going to be a total loss. Looking at the 4th of July with some midday storms rumbling through, but we should get some dry time to lead things off in the day, and closer into the evening. Some downpours certainly possible in there, but it looks like everything should remain the more progressive type, meaning they're moving from west to east fairly swiftly, and that should at least alleviate at least some of the thought of maybe flash flooding potential. But any rain in the forecast right now, not needed. We're plus 13 inches. 13 inches on the year to date, and that's a lot.
Wow, that is.
Speaking of snow, 28 inches of snow measured on the ground at the Rochester International Airport. Only 6 other times in recorded history on a daily level have we seen this amount of snow or more. 29 inches, in case you're wondering, is the most that we have ever measured. 5 times that has happened. Max wind gusts today reaching 58 in Rochester, 58 in Mason City, 48 in Austin, and 51 miles per hour in Charles City. 58 is about the threshold when we start worrying about severe thunderstorm winds, if you will. So just the wind alone is enough to break things, and then it's stirring up the snow and creating whiteout conditions. Out on the town this evening, well, there's just not many people out, and that is good. Finally, some of that warning being heeded based on the conditions that we have seen. Numerous, hundreds of people stranded and having to be rescued at times, spending a lot of time out in these conditions. So at a degree below in a wind out of the west at 24 miles per hour, we're talking about some very dangerous conditions if you're going to be outside unprepared in these conditions. Look at the whiteout conditions earlier from Walters, and then of course we had that roof collapse at McNeil Steel in Dodge Center. And then we're talking about massive drifts, and I'm told here by Stacy that this drift in the background is somewhere in the realm of 25 to 30 feet tall, halfway, if not more, up that silo. Of course, a little depth at play too. It looks like that pole is right up to it, but that pole is a little bit closer. And then you're completely snowed in out of Austin. This is in the southwestern side of Austin, snow completely covering the garage door. Other pictures on Facebook show just how large that drift was. Narrow corridor all the way up to it. Impressive. Wind gusts right now hanging out at about 25 to 35 miles per hour, finally easing. There's still plenty of blowing snow out there, but we are finally showing some signs of recovery. Still, there will be a little bit of element of wind out the door tomorrow morning, but continuing to trend towards the calm side of things into Monday afternoon, and that's how we start recovering. But it could take days to fully recover from this blizzard. Not the fact that the drifting over the roads, that's going to be secured tonight and into tomorrow. It may take a little bit longer in some of the secondary roads, but just there's thick compacted ice now on our highways. And with the cold temperatures settling in, that compaction is not going anywhere, and we could still be recovering into Wednesday. And oh yeah, we have some more snow on the way too. Not much on the satellite and radar picture. We are mainly clear at this hour, but we are going to be watching another little pulse trying to slide through Monday afternoon into the evening. This is responsible for very minor amounts of snow, but then another little pulse of snow coming in on Tuesday. This one could bring us a couple of inches of snow. So let's talk about it here with snowfall potential. Again, it's not going to be much on Monday, but we don't really need anything more. Half of an inch or less, not a big deal. But then we could see up to 2 inches possible Tuesday going into early on Wednesday morning. That's enough to make things a little slippery, and as you're trying to recover on the roads, yeah, it makes it even harder. Now, 39.7 inches of snow this month alone. That's good for the second most in a month all time, out of all the months combined. Now, on the season, we're now into the 6th spot for 6th snowiest season ever recorded. If the season ended today, that's where we would end up. We still have a lot of winter left, folks. Conceivably, another foot easily within reach as we wind down winter. Temperatures are sub-zero in southeast Minnesota, hitting the goose egg in north central Iowa. With those winds still at play, we're hanging out about 20 to 25 degrees below zero in the wind chill. At times, those numbers could reach down to about 30 degrees below. Watch these air temperatures. Tomorrow, we're going to be starting about 10 degrees below zero, and then trying to creep back above. I think we'll do it by a degree or 2, but that's about it. That is very cold for late February standards. Down to about 30 degrees below with the wind chill, and tomorrow you notice we are going to be staying sub-zero all day long and into the teens below zero. Tonight's forecast, I have 11 degrees below for the overnight low. Blizzard conditions have subsided. We are looking at improvements into tomorrow, but some of those roads are not going to be open and as you head out the door tomorrow. It will take a little bit more time, and even then, those roads are still going to remain treacherous, covered in ice. 2 degrees tomorrow afternoon. We'll hit a few more sub-zero days in the coming days, and notice we just cool right back down by next weekend. And there's several snow chances. We touched on Mondays, ½ inch or less, not a big deal. Up to 2 inches on Tuesday into Tuesday night. Thursday is another light round of snow. But Friday is one we're going to really have to watch. It looks like another large-scale storm system. Could be breezy, too, heading into the weekend. Not going to say a repeat of this, but you know what? Any more snow accumulation, it just compounds things, makes it exponentially harder to recover from.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing here
I'm just
tonight.
like,